I met him in 1966, and I knocked on his door, introduced ourselves. He introduced himself and said, "I'm working on a project. Would you like to help?" I said yes, not realizing that I'm still working on that project. Around 1967, he also acquired the land, which is the meditation retreat.
I went off by myself to feel the land. The impression came to me strongly that the particular portion I was walking had been blessed already by our gurus. It had an Eastern exposure, especially attractive to me as a yogi.
There were no buildings, and it was completely raw land, no clearing of the brush and none of the beautiful landscaping that we have now. But we would come up and work on the weekends, and through that winter was the period in which we built 3 different geodesic domes, trying to build a temple there, and all of them ended in disaster. So the first one collapsed. The second one was up for a little while, and it was beautiful. I think the wind picked that one up and just moved it across the countryside. Many of the first structures at Ananda were domes, and they were done that way because of the spiritual effect of that rounded shape.
Rounded ceilings, which correspond to the shape of the head, seemed to reflect energy back harmoniously. I remembered how often Yogananda quoted the suggestion made to him by an architect, "Immortalize your teachings in architecture."
We built Swamiji's dome, we built a temple, we built a dining hall, but it was a contractor who was doing that work, so it didn't all splinter again. And so he came up and secluded here at the meditation retreat, and for 2 or 3 weeks during that time, he wrote the book Cooperative Communities, How to Start Them and Why. It became the Bible of the cooperative communities movement at that time. We just did everything. We published some books, we printed them, Seva helped, and I would try to take them around to bookstores and sell them, and teaching classes at night and corresponding and so on. It was very, very active, very busy, 6 to 10 every day.
Night has flown, dawn has come. Wake, my children, wake. Wake, my children, wake. Sitting in the asana of meditation, sitting in the asana of meditation, think ye of your gurus, Lord.
Swami kept up this incredible pace. He had just enormous energy and will in the early years. It was that produced Ananda. Swami was having retreats. There was a small staff. We were cooking. We were hosting guests who would come up and so on.
Oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful. In the forest thou art green. In the forest thou art green. In the mountains thou art high. In the mountains thou art high. In the river thou art restless. In the river thou art restless. In the ocean thou art great. In the ocean thou art great. Oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. At thy feet.
There was a core of people who were more and more, as the time went by, more and more committed to this way of life and this project.
I remember the new kid on the block, I came in July 1969, 4th of July. I had my backpack, my sleeping bag, a little suitcase.
And by the end of the summer, we had an opportunity to test our commitment. There was no place to live. Everyone had been camping out all this time. And so we thought, why not try Tipis? So we kind of got together and we thought, let's make this a group project. After the poles were cut, then we stripped the bark. And then after that, I sewed 12 of them. I don't know how many more I made, but it was a lot.
One of the disadvantages of teepees were that they were open at the top, and it was raining, and it rains a lot here during the winter time.
That winter, it rained 14 days straight. And as I was in there, my space became smaller and smaller and smaller.
And so as we progressed along this magnificent engineering path, we actually had wood stoves inside the teepee. We were able to make it somewhat more comfortably, albeit considerably more dangerously through the winter.
One day also, I left the fire for a while. I just turned around and I turned back and the whole teepee was, yeah. But I put it out. I put it out in time, but it was a very steep learning curve. We call those learning experiences then.
Animals were a constant for many of the teepees. Usually it was the raccoons, and who would take up residence underneath. We'd make little wooden platforms inside to get off the ground, and so of course the raccoons would like to go underneath.
I had many things that came in my teeth. Yeah, I had raccoons that would fight inside of it, and they would take my food and open up to the...
That first winter was, I don't know, I should really look at the weather records. but my impression was it was a hard winter. I mean, the snow was quite deep.
What was most important was that here we had been this group of people who just didn't have a clue of how to work together. And we had done it. We had worked as a team, and we had such a good time. We learned that that's what makes community. The idea of working in harmony, a real sense of community, of bonding, making new friends, having a greater vision than your own little likes and dislikes and desires, something expansive.
I felt this energy. Something is going to happen here. And I don't know what it is, but it's going to help many, many people. Behind it all, there was something so profound, and it's the spirit of God and Guru that has created Ananda. July 31st, 1949, Master delivers his talk about World Brotherhood communities in Beverly Hills.
He started in talking powerfully about communities. And he said, youth must go north, south, east, west, everywhere to spread this ideal of cooperative communities, world brotherhood communities. And he said, I am sowing my thoughts in the ether, and my words shall not die. He was never invited back. It was a powerful talk, the most powerful talk I've ever heard. And I at least vowed that I would do what I could to make that a reality.
That was 20 years before Ananda started. That's all it was, 20 years. That's when it all started.
And I could I could feel what this would be. Just the vision of it, the reality, how tangible it was. And that there was going to grow here a very important thing. And that I could be a part of creating a new life, a new way of life. Building something new, just the new life, the new world, the new society. And that, to me, was everything. And I felt that I would stay here for the rest of my life, and that I would sacrifice anything to be here and to be part of this, because possibly it could be the most important thing that was happening on earth, at least for me.
That's what Ananda is. It's not the buildings and the finances and any of it. It's that interchange between the individual soul and God. Its spark goes out, and people see that spark, and they say, this place is filled with light. And for those of you who are coming now when you're in your 20s, please understand it's just beginning.
And we are all so blessed to be a part of it.